I was walking through a busy market in Rome, minding my own business, when I saw it happen. A man from Texas tried to pay for gelato with a $50 bill. The vendor smiled politely and said, "Sir, we only take euros." The man blinked. "What do you mean, euros? Is this not the free world?" People around started whispering. Children were staring. Tourists were hiding their laughter. He gestured wildly. "In America, this would never happen. You just take the money." The vendor shrugged. "Here, we don't make exceptions for loud people." The man huffed, muttered something about tyranny, and walked off, still holding his ice cream cup like it was a protest flag. And that's when it hit me. Americans abroad aren't rude. We're just shocked. Shocked that the world doesn't run exactly like the US. But before we dive in, if you like seeing Americans freak out in Europe, hit subscribe. It's basically free entertainment. I was in a grocery store in Amsterdam when it hit me. The exact instant I realized Americans might struggle to understand life beyond their borders. A woman in front of me was staring at the self-checkout screen as if it had personally betrayed her. She tapped, sighed, tapped again, frustration mounting. Then she exploded. "Why is it asking if I brought my own bag? How am I supposed to know that before I got here?" The Dutch cashier gave her a kind smile. "You can buy one, or reuse an old one." The woman froze. "Buy a bag with my own money?" Her eyes scanned the store like she'd uncovered some grand conspiracy. Everyone in line went quiet, half puzzled, half amused, like watching a documentary titled American in the Wild. "This is why socialism never works," she muttered. And that's when it clicked. We're not rude. Not dumb. Not even cruel. We're just utterly unprepared for a world that doesn't revolve around us. When life outside the US ignores the American rulebook, we don't adapt. We protest. In Florence, an Ohio man waved his empty cup at a waiter, cheerfully shouting, "Just a refill, buddy." The waiter blinked. "You want more coffee?" "No, no," the man said. "Just top this one up. Free refills, right?" The waiter went pale. "Sir, this isn't a gas station." The American laughed nervously, trying to explain that in the US, refills are basically a human right. The waiter replied, "Here, we serve coffee, not infinity." Nearby tables fell silent. He paid €3.50, but the real cost was the hush that followed him out of the cafe. In Prague, a woman from Arizona ordered a Coke and frowned like the waiter had personally insulted her. "Excuse me," she said, "this is warm." "It's room temperature," he replied. "But why would anyone drink soda without ice?" He shrugged. "Because we don't want pneumonia." She stared at him like he'd mocked freedom itself. Then came the lecture. Freedom, customer rights, the absolute necessity of ice. The waiter nodded politely. "Madam, is this a protest?" Her husband whispered, "Honey, just drink it. We're the only ones freezing here." In a Helsinki supermarket, an American couple reached the checkout. The cashier asked, "Do you need a bag?" The husband chuckled. "Of course I do. What am I, a magician?" "That'll be 30 cents. The cashier replied. The wife gasped. "You charge for bags?" The cashier stayed calm. "It encourages reuse." The husband leaned in, whispering, "That's communism, right?" "No, sir," the cashier smiled. "That's math." They paid, offended, and later posted online about socialist grocery stores. It went viral among confused Americans who can't wrap their heads around recycling. Here's the pattern. Anything inconvenient is automatically unfair. Different priorities become bad service. Free refills, ice in your soda, plastic bags. They aren't rights. They're cultural quirks. The rest of the world isn't rude for not matching our version of customer service. They just worship at a different altar. At a quiet ryokan in Japan, a group of Texans settled in for the night. An hour later, the manager knocked softly. "Excuse me, could you lower your voices?" One man frowned. "We're just talking." "Yes," the manager said kindly, "but everyone else isn't." They looked genuinely shocked. Wait. People actually sleep at night? Next morning, their review read, "Beautiful hotel, but way too quiet. Feels creepy." They had flown across the globe for peace, and then complained when they found it. In Lisbon, a Florida couple waited 40 minutes for their check. Finally, the husband lost it. "We've been ready forever," he shouted. The waiter smiled. "Yes, I noticed." "You seemed happy." "No, we want to pay." "Oh," said the waiter, surprised. "I thought you were enjoying conversation." They stormed out, Yelp review titled, "Europe Needs Efficiency Training." They didn't realize lingering at the table is respect, not neglect. A man from Chicago stepped into a tiny elevator with two strangers. As the doors closed, he smiled. "How's everyone doing today?" The Parisians blinked. Silent. Polite. Still. He tried again. "So, where are you from?" One woman finally said, "From here." He chuckled awkwardly. "Cool, cool." When they got off, he sighed. "Man. Europeans are so rude." Maybe. Or maybe silence in small spaces isn't coldness. It's just peace. He wanted connection. They wanted oxygen. In Vienna, a woman tried to take a selfie with a Rembrandt. "No flash, please," a guard said softly. "It's just my phone, not paparazzi," she rolled her eyes. 2 minutes later, flash. The guard warned again. "Don't tell me what to do." "I paid for a ticket." Security escorted her out. Tourists stared. Later, she posted online, "Europeans hate Americans." "No, ma'am. They just love art more than Instagram likes." At a Marrakesh market, a man tried paying in US dollars. The vendor smiled, pointing to the local currency. "You sure you don't take real money?" the American asked. The vendor laughed gently. "Sir, I'm sure you don't either." Later he told his wife, "They act like their money matters here." "Maybe it does," she replied. But he still left a 1-star review, claiming financial illiteracy. To him, refusing dollars wasn't economics, it was defiance. That's how deep the American bubble runs. In Reykjavik, an American couple asked their Airbnb host, "So where do you celebrate the 4th of July?" The host blinked. "We don't. We have our own Independence Day." "Oh, that's adorable," the woman smiled. "When is it?" "June 17th. "See, close enough," the man added proudly. Later they posted online, "Iceland celebrates freedom too, just earlier." To them, America isn't a country. It's a template. Everyone else is supposed to fit inside it. American culture raised us to think we're the main character. Maps put us in the center. Movies make us the heroes. History class teaches that everything else is foreign. So when the world doesn't follow the American script, new holidays, new logic, new rules, we don't rewrite the story. We assume everyone else forgot their lines. It's not arrogance, it's conditioning. In Madrid, a woman stared at a washing machine's temperature settings like she'd discovered alien math. "Why can't it just say hot or cold?" she groaned. Her local roommate explained, "Celsius." She scrolled. "So, 60 degrees is hot?" "Yes, that's freezing in Fahrenheit," he said. "So, your numbers lie?" She washed her clothes in the sink and later posted online, "Europe needs clearer laundry settings." The only thing that needed clarity was her metric humility. An American tourist entered a pharmacy asking for Tylenol PM. The pharmacist offered paracetamol. "I don't want that foreign stuff," he said. "It's the same molecule," she replied. He shook his head. "I only trust FDA-approved drugs." She smiled. "Our medicine doesn't need your government's permission to work." He left angry, sneezing. "See? Europe's already making me sick." Sometimes, ignorance feels safer than learning. In Krakow, a man entered a public restroom and was stopped by a woman collecting coins. "I have to pay to pee?" "Yes. 2 zloty," she replied. He laughed. "I already pay taxes." "Not here, sir," she said calmly. He stormed off, fuming, later posting online, Europe charges you to pee. Pure tyranny. The irony? 10 minutes earlier he'd spent $6 on bottled water. To many Americans, freedom means unlimited access. Limits feel like violations, not systems of balance, but across most of the world, freedom exists alongside responsibility, rules that protect the group. When we encounter these systems abroad, we don't feel challenged. We feel insulted. The problem isn't ignorance. It's a culture that confuses adaptation with defeat. At a bakery in London, a man from Kansas cut straight to the counter. People glared. "I'm just asking a question," said the cashier. "So is everyone else," muttered someone behind him. He scoffed. "I didn't see a sign that says queue." "You just made one up," whispered someone else. He frowned. "You Brits take lines too seriously." A woman behind him smiled. "And you take shortcuts too personally." Eventually he joined the queue, confused but slightly wiser. An American businessman marched to a hotel reception desk. "This is a 4-star hotel, right?" "Yes, sir." "Then why is the room so small?" The receptionist smiled. "Because it's in Switzerland." He blinked. "In America, 4 stars means luxury. Here," she explained, "it means quality, not size." He left muttering about false advertising, oblivious that his ego took up more space than the room ever could. In Berlin, a tourist called 911 from his hotel room because the Wi-Fi wasn't working. When the operator answered in German, he shouted, "Why are you speaking Spanish?" "Sir, this is Germany," came the calm reply. "Well, can you transfer me to English?" The hotel manager rushed upstairs. Panicked, thinking there was a fire, the man sat on his bed, clutching his phone like a hostage. Finally he said, "Someone who understands customer service." The manager stared. "Sir, in Germany, emergencies are for danger, not inconvenience." He blinked, but bad Wi-Fi is danger. At a Paris metro station, a man tried paying for a ticket with a $20 bill. The machine rejected it. He muttered, helpless. "How do they expect tourists to use this if it doesn't take American money?" A French woman tried to help. "You must buy euros first." "So, I have to buy money to buy tickets?" "Yes," she said calmly. He threw his hands in the air. "That's insane. In America, machines take everything." She smiled. "That explains America." In Oslo, an American family arrived at a breakfast buffet. They whispered to each other, "Where are the pancakes?" The waiter smiled. "We have bread, cheese, eggs, fish." "Fish in the morning?" "Yes." "Protein," the waiter replied. The father shook his head. "You people start your day with trauma, huh?" Their review later read, "No syrup, no joy." Somewhere in Norway, a fisherman probably sneezed in confusion. A college student from California plugged in her hairdryer, heard a spark and screamed like the building was on fire. Staff rushed over. She pointed at the outlet. "It tried to kill me." The receptionist sighed. "Different voltage, miss." She blinked. "Then why not use American outlets?" "Because," he said, "we are not America." "Well, you should be," she muttered, later posting on TikTok, "Europe's electricity is aggressive." A man from Florida saw a fenced park with dogs running free. "Who let these dogs out?" he shouted. A Dutch woman laughed. "They're playing." "You just let them off the leash?" "Yes, they're trained." He stared at her like she'd confessed witchcraft. "That's risky." "In America, dogs have rules." She smiled. "In Europe, so do humans." He went home and started a petition. Bring leash laws to Europe. At a museum in Dublin, a woman was told entry was free, but donations were welcome. "So, it's not really free," she snapped. The volunteer smiled. "You can enter without paying." "Then why ask for money?" "It's voluntary," he explained. "Voluntary sounds like guilt with extra steps," she muttered, walking away, convinced she'd uncovered a scam. Ironically, she later spent €12 on a Guinness. Every one of these moments stems from the same belief: comfort equals correctness. For many Americans, if something feels strange, it must be wrong. Travel isn't about comfort. It's about calibration. The world isn't attacking you when it challenges your expectations. It's inviting you to grow. The problem isn't that Americans don't understand life outside the US. It's that we've rarely had to. If you laughed or cringed at any of these moments, go ahead and hit subscribe. Trust me, there are dozens more Americans abroad losing their minds.